Hey there, YouTubers again. I failed to get up so early today, so at around 11, yeah, 11 o'clock, and after I took a shower, it's already took a shower, took a dump, you know the usual routines after resurrection. Oops, excuse me. So yeah, but somehow I'm feeling better and more energetic, and and I suppose I stand more poised to tackle some other difficult tasks today. And I just like to to further share my ideas and thoughts with you about life, about self motivation, about how you can keep yourself motivated moving forward, even if you have utterly, pretty much utterly nobody to offer you any sort of assistance besides Jesus. That's a rather pragmatic way to consider a situation like mine, but you get the idea. So maybe I'm just saying, maybe there's a way to heal, to heal from depression, from suicidal thoughts. I suppose one of them is to stay focused on your work, like I mentioned for countless times previously, over and over. And the other one probably is to keep your to try your best to eat normally, and at least two meals per day, if not a regular routine of life characterized by 3 meals per day. Yeah, like just a couple of days ago, I tried to go to bed without eating anything for dinner, hoping my the depression, the highly depressed mental state could somehow facilitate the process of falling asleep. But in fact it did not, and I failed miserably. It made me probably there could be also some other factors that caused me to have diarrhea and nausea, suicidal thoughts, all at the same time. But I can assure you that you won't get the result you want by skipping your dinner, and then you try to fall asleep, hoping your depression, or maybe plus drowsiness could facilitate the process of falling asleep. But yes, my experience has already disproved that, and that's quite a so during those moments, I had been thinking about just dash my weight to the rooftop and throw myself down from the fifth from the rooftop of the fifth floor of this hotel I'm living in. Even yesterday night, just before I went to bed, I also had plenty of suicidal thoughts. But right now, I'm waiting for the guy to deliver my lunch, since I placed an order online using the app on my smartphone. So at least by eating normally, you can at least have something more to look forward to. So based on my own experiences of combating suicidal thoughts and depression and loneliness, etc. I can assure you that I have experienced, level 10 loneliness, if not, nearly level 10 loneliness. The full, such a state of loneliness so overwhelming that you just you can it makes you think that you might just lose your language ability. It makes you think you begin to worry about if you could forget how to have conversations with people, even no matter in what language, but it can grow so strong that that all those fears, doubts, begin to converge onto you all together, and that can worsen, that can exacerbate the whole situation. And but whenever you feel that way, maybe you can refer to the Bible, preferably New King James Version. Let me show you. Yeah, for those who are trying to endure a hard situation, an extremely challenging situation where you have utterly nobody to talk to, or you just don't feel like talking to anybody, I would suggest that you read, the book of Revelation. Chapter 2, and do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death. Revelation 2, verses 10 through 11. And there are other ones too, Revelation 3, verses 20 through 21. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him, and he with me. To him who overcomes, I will grant to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. So I still doubt if I fully believe, God. But since I'm still, I have been sinning quite a lot, quite heavily, and I often, use something like, well, at least fapping can give me some pleasures, something to look forward to, so that I won't, just throw throw myself from the rooftop and commit, and get myself killed. I often use often use something like that as a excuse, or to justify sinning, and there are just so many occasions, I just lost count on how many, exactly, the occasions I had, where I just don't believe, God, still thinks of me, or maybe He has just abandoned me or anything. Yes, I have been, blaming Him, for throwing me to a circumstance like this, where you lost your old man, you lost relationships, and the willingness to talk to anybody, whom you used to think, that you can pretty much count on them, so they can give you a helping hand. But in fact, so it's still, I still have a highly conflicted and doubtful mind. But I still hope I could remain productive, or even become more productive for today and the day after. Perhaps I should consider buying myself a new pair of lenses, with some, with some smart functionalities or anything. So you get the idea, the other, last but not least, if you find it hard to cope with, an overwhelming waves of depression and indignation against people whom you believe that might have betrayed you or anything. Maybe you should consider just plainly stop thinking about them, and focus on something else, or someone else, like yourself, or or your clients, or your work, or anybody else that has nothing to do with such pile of mess. I also look forward to my trip to Europe, and just to gather some information, and see if I could get myself settled there, at least if I could get myself a long term permit of residence. Well, see if I could find something more decent as an employment, and stop living in the shadows, in the gray shadows, as a phantom. So in other words, I would see what God might have prepared for me out there in Europe. Yeah. Thanks again for watching and listening. See you next time on YouTube. Bye bye.